Look at them. Every mark, every scar, every place they tried to break you. Run your fingers across the rough edges of who you used to be. Feel the texture of your survival mapped across your skin, your soul, your story. They thought these marks would define you, limit you, keep you small, keep you quiet, keep you in your place. They were wrong. So damn wrong. You see, they never understood what happens when you wound something without killing it. They never understood that pain. Real pain doesn't make you weaker. It doesn't make you fold. It doesn't make you break. It makes you dangerous. Every time they cut you down, you grew back sharper. Every time they burned you, your skin turned to steel. Every time they tried to bury you, your roots grew deeper. But they can't see that yet. They still think you are that fragile thing they used to know. That broken mirror they shattered with their bare hands. Let them think that. Let them believe their own lies. Because while they're busy congratulating themselves on destroying you, you are building something they never saw coming. Something forged in the fire of their betrayal. Something carved from the stone of your suffering. You remember how it felt, don't you? Each cut, each burn, each betrayal that left its mark. They thought those scars would be your shame, your weakness, your reason to hide. But they became your map instead. A map leading you straight out of hell. And now they're your battle plan. Every scar is a lesson they didn't mean to teach you. Every scar is a weapon they didn't mean to give you. Every scar is a reason to rise so high, they'll never reach you again. You think you are damaged? Number. You are decorated. Decorated with proof that you can survive anything they throw at you. Decorated with evidence that you cannot be destroyed. Decorated with the story of your own resurrection. Let me tell you something about scars. They're not just marks where you've been hurt. They're marks where you've healed. Where you've grown back stronger. Where you've looked death in the face and said, not today. And now you wear them like armor. Like warnings. Like prophecies of what you are becoming. They wanted to write their names across your skin? Fine. But you turned those signatures into declarations of war. They wanted to mark you as broken? Fine. But you turned those marks into medals of honor. You are not surviving anymore. You are not just healing anymore. You are transforming. Every scar they gave you is a reason to rise higher. Every wound they inflicted is fuel for your fire. Every time they tried to end, you became a new beginning. So stand up. Stand up and show them what their cruelty created. Show them how their violence shaped you into something unstoppable. Show them how their attempts to break you only taught you how to break limits. You are not their victim anymore. You are not their cautionary tale. You are not their broken thing. You are the phoenix they tried to burn. The storm they tried to contain. The wolf they tried to tame. Let them see what happens when pain becomes power. Let them watch as their marks of shame become your marks of glory. Let them witness as every scar they gave you becomes a reason to rise higher than they ever thought possible. Because that's the thing about scars. They don't just tell stories about what was done to you. They tell stories about what couldn't break you, what couldn't stop you, what couldn't kill you. So rise. Rise with every mark they gave you. Rise with every wound they left. Rise with every scar they carved. Rise until they realized their biggest mistake wasn't hurting you. It was teaching you how to turn pain into power. Teaching you how to turn wounds into weapons. Teaching you how to turn scars into strength. Every scar they gave you is a reason to rise higher. And you are just getting started. They don't understand what's coming. How could they? They think they wrote your ending when they marked you. They think they decided your worth when they wounded you. But they didn't write your story. They just gave you ink. Look at them now, watching you, waiting for you to crumble, expecting you to cave under the weight of what they did. They're still betting on your collapse, still counting on your surrender, still believing their own myth that broken things stay broken. But you've learned the truth about breaking, about how something shattered can be reforged, about how something scarred can become sacred, about how something wounded can become wonderful, and terrible, and powerful. Every mark on your body is a line in your manifesto. Every scar on your soul is a paragraph in your declaration of war. Every wound they gave you is a chapter in the story of their biggest mistake. Because here is what they never saw coming. You didn't just survive. You didn't just heal. You didn't just recover. You evolved. You transformed. You transcended. Every time they cut you down, you grew back with thorns. Every time they tried to drown you, you learned to breathe underwater. Every time they tried to burn you, you learned to control fire. They thought they were punishing you, breaking you, ending you. But all they did was teach you how to be invincible. All they did was show you your own immortality. All they did was turn you into something that doesn't know how to die. So now you wear your scars like war paint. You carry your wounds like weapons. You bear your breaks like badges of honor. Let them see what rises from the ashes of their attempts to destroy you. Let them witness the birth of something they never meant to create. Let them tremble at the sight of their own handiwork. Because every scar they gave you, it's not just a reason to rise higher. It's a promise to never stop climbing. It's a vow to never stop growing. It's an oath to never be small again. You are not just surviving anymore. You are becoming. Becoming something they can't control. Becoming something they can't contain. Becoming something they can't comprehend. So rise. Rise until their marks become your monuments. Rise until their scars become your strength. Rise until their wounds become your wings. Because that's the real power of scars. They don't just remind you of what you've survived. They remind you of what you are capable of surviving. They don't just tell the story of your past. They write the prophecy of your future. And your future, it's written in the language of defiance. It's spoken in the tongue of triumph. It's screamed in the voice of victory. Every scar, every mark, every wound, they're not your ending. They're your beginning. They're not your weakness. They're your warning. To anyone who thinks they can break you again, Rise. Rise higher. Rise fiercer. Rise stronger. Until they realized that every scar they gave you wasn't a mark of destruction. It was a seed of resurrection. And you are in full bloom now. Dangerous and beautiful. Scarred and sacred. Marked and magnificent. This is your time. This is your rising. This is your revenge. Not in blood. Not in violence. But in becoming something so powerful, so unstoppable, so unbreakable, that they finally understand. Every scar they gave you wasn't just a reason to rise higher. It was their biggest mistake.